So what about when the ball is dropped?
So that's that. I've seen this happen, or not happen. I've seen this handled many ways, and it really depends on where the employee came from. If they came from large organizations, I'll generally say that discipline is used within large organizations, and people don't want to fail. So that, for the most part, kind of feeds into how they become managers or how they drive teams.
So when you say discipline, though, what do you mean?
Slap in the hand when they fail.
Like just publicly?
Not a humiliation, but
Okay.
but they make a point that they failed at something and don't do it again, or you shouldn't have done this. Emphasizing the negative things.
Mm-hmm.
Versus when you come out of small business, I see a lot more of it's okay to fail.
Right.
That's part of getting, to the end result. You have to be able to fail in order to get a good solution. If you're scared of failing, you're going to be scared of starting.
So one thing I heard years ago, and I'm probably going to butcher where I got it from, and I don't know if it's a Chinese proverb or if it's a Japanese. I know it came from that part of the world, and it was something to the effect of we don't really care whose fault it was, we just want to fix the thing.
Right.
And that's, I try to live that, and I try to do that because and it's interesting though with especially with VAs that are in the Philippines. It's, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like I don't want to say I don't care,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to find the solution to whatever the mess up was.
Yeah.
Even here, it's like, okay, Ryan, you messed up. It doesn't matter. How do we fix that, and how do we prevent it from doing that again?
Yeah. Well, that goes back, what we talked about a little bit last time, which is choose your words carefully. Use words that bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of dividing people in teams.
Encouraging.
Right? So, oh, you made a mistake, right? Oh, what did you do? What did you do wrong? Use the word we.
Right.
And it's, okay, what did we do wrong here? That is a tremendous, way to handle a problem instead of what did you do wrong? You immediately, you're taking a much calmer approach, not throwing somebody under the bus, and with just some simple words and maybe the tone that you use.
One thing I always say, and almost to a fault, which is, hey, it's my fault, and it is my fault as a business owner if there's a mess up, because it most likely is because I didn't convey enough information for the team member to adequately do the thing. And I acknowledge that, but I think that's that whole Jocko Willink extreme ownership thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're late to work because there was a wreck, well, it's still your fault. You didn't leave. You didn't account that there's going to be a wreck. So you're late to work because your car blew up because, well, did you get an oil change? So it's that whole extreme ownership. So how that I apply that here is anytime there's anything, even though Sohail, I'm gonna throw you under the bus. Sohail's fault. Everybody knows Sohail. Well, it's my fault because X, Y, Z. That's just an example. Sohail didn't really. He's not in trouble. Nothing. It's just he's the only one that's in this room. Anyway, but I don't know what my point to that is, other than just taking ownership of maybe not going back to the process and making sure all that's in line.
It does matter, how your team perceives you're viewing them, and the more you can bring the team together, not divide the team, not have them be worried about failing, but have them more concerned with coming up with a solution and teaching them that it's okay to mess up. Just, as long as it's not malicious and as long as you learn something from it. Now, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, well, now we need to talk.
Yeah, there was before anyone in the company was here, is maybe a year and a half ago, maybe a little over a year and a half ago. We did a full podcast with one of our clients, and we didn't record the audio. And it was complete egg on my face, egg on the team's face. And at the time, I was rightfully so furious. But again, I didn't have the skills to be able to convey that, and I didn't. I just went in the other room, was just like, ah.
Yeah.
But the reason I was furious was the team members at the time were. I told them very often, it's like, look, if you've got it and you want me out of the way, just tell me to go away. But you need to have it. They were like, we got it, go away. Okay, I went away, and they obviously didn't have it.
So how did you handle that?
We figured out what the problem was. We did training on how to fix that problem, and then we put a sticky note on the TV that says check audio.
Yeah.
And I think that sticky note stayed there for the longest time. And I don't know when we moved to the new studio if that sticky note came with us, but I do know with like Sohail, when he started training on this, it was like, hey, these green bars, if they're not here, we're not recording audio. Yeah. So no matter what, that's the last first thing you need to look at before we push record.
So that kind of plays back to what we were talking about earlier with operating procedures. Well, that's something that the recording of a podcast, you're going to do that over and over and over. Once you establish how it should be done, then you should put the standard operating procedures in place.
Like a binder.
Pardon me?
Like a binder?
I mean, it can be a binder, it can be a sticky note, whatever, however you get it done. It's that plan that you follow so that you can get consistent results.